There is no enjoyment like reading, declared my favorite author, Jane Austen. Hello and welcome to Rustle Book Club Author Interaction with me, Saraswati Priyadarshini. And Rahul is also here with us. I think he'll join us soon. A lot of planning is going on. I think they're planning to have several competitions, writing competitions, Hindi Divas, podcasts, and so on. But what I am super excited about is the e-magazine that they are going to release very soon, and you could be published in that. I'm going to tell you more about that at the end of this interaction. Today, I'm very excited to speak to our author. I've been looking forward to this. We are speaking to Chieftain Batra, a 24-year-old postgraduate in law. He's a blogger, he's a poet, and he is a graphic designer and award-winning author from Ludhiana, Punjab. He has written 3 novels, one an anthology that he co-authored with 41 other authors called The Bright Side, and he has written 2 other books, which is called Never Fade Away, and another one called The Darkest Path, which was released recently, his new book in 2021 that received great reviews. Right. Welcome, Chieftain.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Very warm welcome to you to this interaction. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So let's dive into the questions right away. I have so many questions to ask you. And also, when we chatted earlier, you said that you are interested in crime fiction from a very early age.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
So
yes.
I read a lot of Agatha Christie growing up. I was a big fan of Agatha Christie books.
Yeah.
But of course, I cannot get myself to write crime fiction. You do, so that's your genre. Great. Wonderful. So, when did you decide you wanted to write, Chieftain?
When I was the first time I realized when I was in class 11th. So we were 6 friends. So everyone had a talent. One was singer, one was a writer, poem. He used to write poems. One was an anchor, one was a curator. So I was very keen that they have a very good talent. They are very talented people. But I didn't see myself being there. I don't have any talent or hidden talent. I was looking for it. So one sort of a day, मतलब एक out of the blue, I got a thought I should write something. I should write a book or everything. Since I had an interest in crime fiction since childhood only, so I thought I would create a world that could be a detective story or like that. I wanted to make it happen. So then I started to write, penning down the stories and everything, but couldn't make it up. I was not able to find a good way. So I didn't have any mentors with me, and everything was just going very uneasy. So I had to manage something. So then I told myself I was first try something reading the other books that we have in our literature genre. So I read some of them and got an idea what was it about and what could be the possibilities we can explore in the characters and everything. So that's where the journey started. And then after 5 years of it, Never Fade Away came in the action and it got
Never
published.
Fade
And
Away.
yeah. So this was the
Lovely, Chieftain. So, like I told you, I was a big fan of Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
There is a detective in that called Hercule Poirot.
Yeah.
Do you have a character like that in your book?
Actually, not like that, but still, because not in this one, but this one has that character.
The darkest path.
Yeah, because it is
the
a detective
darkest
story.
path.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
a police and crime change everything.
Yeah. While I was introducing your books, I got a bit confused there. You know why? You have two kind of like a paradox, the brightest side and the darkest path. So I was a play with words there. Okay, so you self-inspired. You're a self-inspired person because your group had all these other creativities. You wanted to do something and you inspired yourself. That's great. Now, where do you collect your information, your ideas from for your book?
So this was a thing when I started to write something. Now I was not able to get what I told you before. So I asked my father what to do. So he told me that is a bookshelf. Go there and get a book for yourself and read it. You will automatically get an idea or something. So I just went to the bookshelf and took out the Chetan Bhagat's Two States. So
Two
I
states.
yeah, so
Oh,
I
your name, it's almost like your Chetan Bhagat.
because the
Huh.
name was rhyming now, so I thought, wow, this is also very fascinating something. So I just
Ah,
picked up the book and I read it. So but it took me 6 hours or 7 hours complete because I was so much involved. I wanted to see what it is about and
ah,
what would be the outcome that it gave me to the writing field. So I took it, I read it, and I was like, I will also write a love story and everything revolving around that. So Never Fade
Gotcha,
Away got a mixture of that because it was a love story turning into a crime
gotcha,
thriller. It is not a basically
gotcha.
love story, but a crime thriller also. It involves every element of that.
Okay. I met Chetan Bhagat in Bangalore at a beautiful restaurant called Fenny's in Koramangala.
Sure.
So I went right up to him. I spoke to him. He was, of course, I felt I intruded his peaceful dinner, but I had to say hello and take some pictures with him. Yes, he's a wonderful author himself. And you are too, Chetan, and you are going to grow. I have no doubt. Now, what's your writing process like, Chetan?
Writing process, ma'am.
How do you start?
Actually,
How do you
when
go
I
about
started
it?
out, na, first I have to because my English was not so not so good at that time when I started writing. So I
Mm,
started from the basic parts. I started out reading out the basic knowledge of the English. Then I
mm,
get on reading to the books in depth to get the knowledge of that. And slowly and slowly I got an idea because when you do something, na, you automatically become a part of the nature and you keep on doing, keep going and keep on going. Just I got back to my 8th standard grammar book and read it out, and then I began my writing journey. With that, with the help of that, I was able to manage and able to get into the depths, and I can say writing to a story that I could relate, that it was the best part of me that I could make it out from to the audience and to leadership and everything.
Good. You made a very interesting point there that you went to your grammar book. The
Yeah.
previous author I spoke to also said, and of course, she's also an educator like me. So she said, grammar is very important in
Yeah.
writing. Your grammar has to be perfect, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
grammar and spellings have to be perfect. So this is something I want my students to hear me. That's why I'm repeating it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about your latest book, the
The darkest path.
Darkest Path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The darkest path is a journey of a common man. Matlab, who has a common life, normal life, who's living on his own, has a family and everything. He's happy. He's happy with everything. Mom, dad, sister, best friend, and a girlfriend too. So it is happy in a part.
Mm,
But one such event took place in his life that completely changed the concept. That completely destroys his life. And what was that event? That involves a crime because his sister is killed. Why she is killed and what was the circumstances behind it. So that is why he chose the darkest path, and the
mm.
police chase and everything begins. That is the story how a struggle of a common man in the world of crime.
Now, are you trying to create standalone books, or are you creating a series? Are you constructing a series where each book is
No,
related somehow to the
no,
other?
no, no. I keep a standard of my books because Never Fade Away and Darkest Path are completely opposites, but the storyline
Mm,
is obviously different. It is not the same
mm,
thing.
mm,
Never Fade Away
mm,
was a story about a couple, and the Darkest Path
mm.
is about a man who struggles to get justice for his family or and everything involving in the same things. This is a
Okay,
different,
so do both are different. Both are different. It's not a series. Like
not a
I
series.
asked you because I mentioned Agatha Christie to you, who's written like 66 books, if I'm not wrong, and 33 of them are a series with the same detective I mentioned,
Yeah, I
Hercule
I
Poirot,
do
the
have a plan.
Belgian.
I do have a plan, one plan in mind, but not right now. The execution to be perfect, I will make it around 5 or 6 years later. Not right now. I'm not in a hurry so
Yeah.
much because my
Huh.
I'm just so much young, so I
Quit.
don't want it to make research and everything because it has to be perfect. So it has to be in a masterpiece, or you can say. I just wanted to make it.
Hmm.
And after some time,
मैं भी
definitely,
मैं भी वही बात बोलने वाली थी कि you are just 24.
oh yeah,
You have a long way to go. But you have three
yeah,
books to your credit. Wonderful. It's
yeah.
wonderful. So what are you working on next, Chetan?
Next is also crime thriller only.
Uh,
Actually, that is based on a missing persons. Some missing detective, a person, a police officer investigates the story about a missing persons that have a person that has a good connection, that has a one connection leading to the same. So it is about
mm,
everything and investigation and all doing. Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah,
Chetan, you also mentioned when I spoke to you earlier
yeah,
that you are not only a fervent, passionate writer,
yeah,
you are an ardent Bollywood fan, and you
yeah,
want to try out the movies, the
yeah.
Bollywood movies.
Actually,
And
I'm,
you are your crime thrillers very interesting. Will make very interesting movies, I must say. And you also have told me that you are a big believer in destiny, and you are, like your book, the brightest side, you
yeah,
always believe on the positive things, the bright side of things. So I have no doubt in my mind that you will be a big name in Bollywood. All you have to do is never give up and keep going for it. Write that great story and make it into a movie. I'm
yeah.
so glad I'm speaking to you. One day I'm going to say, when you are there on the screen, I'm going to say, I spoke to Chetan Batra. What is your advice to the young writers, Chetan?
Young writers see, start writing a book is never an easy task, so it involves so much knowledge and research and everything, but the starting from initially you should write from should write 500 words per day to keep the flow going. That is the basic part. If you write every day, you get motivated, you get inspired, because you have to keep things going. You don't have to stop at one moment and then you will think, oh, then I will write sometime other time. I don't have time right now, because the dedication is the key. So if you don't work towards your vocab, you will work about the story, then you can't put something uh, different. I'm not thinking about something. You have to make some move to keep things going and bring out the hidden talent within you. So you just keep
Correct.
going. Editing, I because my task is that I write first, then edit it later. So we can do the editing at the end when you complete the story. That is a different stage. First, focus on just on your story and writing, then editing, then you can go for publishing and everything else that follows.
Wonderful. I like that point you made. You know
Yeah,
what I tell my students in the classroom, Chetan?
yeah,
Like you said, pehle likho, then edit. So
yeah,
I have an acronym for this for to encourage my writers. It's called POWER.
yeah,
Okay, so first you plan, you organize, you write, and then you edit, and then you review it. The final step is the review. So like that. Again, you brought out another important point, that is dedication. Write a little every day is very, very important. I
important.
tell my students the same thing. Kuch bhi likho, write about your mother. What
Yeah,
she did something funny, or something that you annoyed her in some way. Write a little anecdote. Write something about your siblings. Write something about something you saw on the road while you were on a drive. you know um, I have this eidetic memory. How I write, the photographic how I write is whatever I see is in my mind, and very vividly I will just bring it all out in words. No, not too much thinking. Okay, sometimes that comes in handy. So write, like you said, write every day,
yeah,
and be dedicated.
yeah,
Chota chota progress is important. Don't procrastinate. Kal. I'll do this tomorrow, or
you
maybe
need a
tomorrow I'll
routine,
start late.
proper routine to set it up, because at the
हाँ,
end of the day अगर उसको आप ध्यान दे रहे हो, you have to take care of everything, so it eventually will give you big results. Not
Yes, eventually that will happen. Little progress a day will
every
get
day
you to where you want.
that adds to big
Small
results.
steps. Small steps get you big results. Absolutely right, Chetan. Bang on. Thank you so much for this interaction. And like I said, you're going to be a big name soon. It is my joy and privilege to be speaking to you today. And to the readers, I want to say a little tip. You may have a reader's block. It happens to us quite often. You may not find something interesting to read, or the size and the content of the book may overwhelm you. You have to read, but you don't. How do you do away with the reader's block? Is read something short and easy to digest. Or the best thing is to go back to your favorite book that you have enjoyed before. We all have our favorite books. Like mine is the Jane Austen. I started with Jane Austen's quote, "Nothing is more enjoyable than reading a book." Um, my favorite book is The Pride and Prejudice. So if ever I don't find anything interesting, I'll at least read a little bit of that. Try reading short anecdotes, short stories, easy to digest. Then you can take on the more challenging books. But read, you must. That is very, very important. Now, coming back to the thing that I was excited about, the announcement that I was excited about at the beginning of this interaction was that you can get yourself published in the Russell Book Club um, e-magazine. You can send in your articles, your poems, your short stories. You can send in your photographs. You can send in photographs that you have taken, of course, and paintings to the Russell Book Club, bookclub03@gmail.com, and you will be published in the e-magazine. That's a wonderful way to start off writing and being published. Once you're published, it always motivates you to do more. Thank you again, Chetan, and all the very best to you. Don't give up till you are with the movies, with Mumbai, wherever you want to.
That's a different
Thank
thing, but
you.
still, yes. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.
Rahul wanted to say something?
Rahul said thank you.
Okay, that is it.
Thank you. Okay.